Do you live in the village?
Street, yeah.
Yeah, they're out at the guard shack.
What?
Over in the village. So.
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. We're diving into a case that serves as a sobering reminder of how a single decision can have far-reaching consequences. This is the story of a mother in Beachwood, Ohio, who left her twin 5-year-old daughters alone at home while she worked a shift at the mall. What started as a quick trip to sell cookies turned into a legal nightmare when the children wandered outside, got locked out of their apartment, and were eventually found by a concerned bystander. This case raises important questions about responsibility, risk, and the law. Today we'll examine the details, break down the legal implications, and discuss the evidentiary standards that come into play in cases like this one. Let's begin by reviewing the body cam footage.
Hello.
The police at the bar.
Hi, how are you?
Dropping my son off.
Uh-huh.
I live here. Going to work. And I was pulling out of the parking spot, and they ran out in front of the car.
Okay.
They said that they're locked out of their apartment.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where the apartment is, you know.
Okay.
Their mom is at work at the mall. She gets off at 3 p.m. They're 5 years old. They
Okay.
said. So I just drove them up here. I didn't know what to do.
Okay. If you can just wait here for a minute. Oh, you mind telling me, what are you guys doing outside?
When we was inside, somebody. No, cousin. I just wanted to stay. I wanted to stay, but my stomach was better, so I'm not allowed to stay by myself.
Who's at home with you?
Nobody.
And your mom's at work at the mall?
I told mommy somebody had to come with me, but I can't. Me, cousin, cousin would stay at home alone.
Okay. Hey man, Radio RP. Do you know what store your mom works at?
Yeah, right there.
What store?
The mall. It's the mall.
Do you know what store inside the mall she works at?
Yeah.
What store?
She works at the cookie store.
The what?
Upstairs. She works upstairs in the cookie store.
The cookie store?
Why was she cookie store?
Okay. I think there's a kiosk, they sell cookies.
Home?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure they're at home?
Yeah.
Okay, because where do you live? Do you live in the village?
Street, yeah.
Yeah, they're out at the guard shack.
What?
Over in the village. So you're going to need to come get them.
Oh my god. I just dropped off my cookies. My employee will be here any second. I had my friend over there watching them, but I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Do you want to try and call your friend? And do you have your driver's license?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god. Where are they?
They're at the guard shack.
It's in the car. Can you follow me to the car?
Yeah, that's fine.
No, yeah, look at that.
You can see us right here. And you can see you. You can see you right here.
Okay.
Little girls, hi.
Hey.
I'm Officer Cam.
Hi, Mr. King.
Hi. What's your name?
Girls warm.
Yeah. And then the caller, she doesn't have a license. She's just waiting for someone to come drive the vehicle away.
Mommy's car is black.
Child endangerment?
It's
Big time, man.
Ow! Can you let me take the ball?
Your mommy's on her way.
No?
Yeah, we found her.
Where is she?
Yeah, she worked at the cookie shop.
Oh, man.
So, The lady in the vehicle right there said that she was pulling out of her parking space because she was in building 11. And
What's a building 10?
yeah, you live in building 10. She was pulling out of her parking space, and the two girls ran out in front of her and she almost hit them. I guess Carter said her stomach hurt, and they were coming to the mall to see you.
Okay, but where's Auntie India?
She didn't come.
What do you mean? She said she was coming. She said she was here.
What's the word?
I'll be right back. Oh my god.
Wait.
So I was just dropping cookies. I have a bakery over in Beachwood Mall. And then I have a friend who lives nearby. I just call her whenever I need her help. I was in such a rush this morning. I ran over and, not this morning, it was this morning. And I just dropped the cookies off and I was coming right back.
Okay. What time did you leave?
Like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, she was at the cookie thing, like
What time?
doing whatever.
What time approximately?
Not like just delivery.
I was
No, I think she was like setting up the register.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all.
And you just left to go drop cookies off?
Yep. Yeah, my employees over there.
Okay.
So were you girls sleeping when Mom left? No.
What's your phone number, miss?
216-972.
Okay, and you said that your aunt was supposed to come over?
I just have a friend that lives nearby.
Okay. And did you speak with this friend?
Yep. I messaged her and asked her. She said she was on her way.
What's the friend's name?
Her name's India.
India?
And what's India's phone number?
It is 216-370.
And she lives where?
She lives down here at the Vantage.
At the Vantage.
Okay.
So, but you left without India being there yet,
She was on her way.
but she never showed up.
She wasn't there yet. But I literally call her every time, and she always comes every single time. Honestly, that's my fault. 100% I should have been until she was there. But I'm just so used to.
Was there any other relatives that live nearby?
Yep, I have a whole bunch of relatives that live there.
Okay.
My grandma stays over here in Shaker, right here by middle school.
Do you have on your phone proof that you called this India girl? And it would have to have a date and time on it. Cam keys? Cam keys. Oh.
To make sure that she was still there. I have to take date and time on that one.
Okay, yeah, yep. At what time?
1:40. That was just to make sure that she was still there. I just found everything.
Okay. And you confirmed that she was on the way,
Yes.
but she never arrived before you.
Yeah.
Called India after we had already received notification that the kids were loose. Okay, so what we're asking for you to show us is proof that you had somebody coming over to babysit the kids.
It was a private call. It's not showing up.
Nothing prior to 1:39.
No, but I mean, I can call her to tell you text messages. It was through Instagram.
And are you able to pull that up?
No, because it was on a private, so it was deleted.
It was deleted. Okay, well, that's where we kind of run into a situation
No, I
there.
totally get it.
Your grandmother lives nearby.
Yeah.
Okay, what city?
Shaker Heights.
Shaker Heights. Okay.
Yeah, she left town today.
Okay. Who else would be close that would be able to watch your kids at any given time?
So I have my grandparents here, my grandfather, and my grandmother. I have a bunch of friends around here.
But like relatives primarily?
We're actually from Bermuda. So.
Okay, but your grandparents in Shaker Heights?
Yeah.
Okay. But they're out of the country today? They left today?
They left today.
Okay.
These two 5-year-olds were going to walk to the mall to find mom. Yes, because she got funny. And so, she's definitely going to get hooked up. However, this is requiring a bond from a judge. Child endangering requires we contact the judge. And we have 2 little girls that we don't know what to do. So, probably just going to have to tell the judge that and beg for a personal. I would like to just keep the girls and mom in the same car and have Sharp transport them all. Right.
She's on the phone with her friend India that could watch the kids potentially.
Okay. Apparently, maybe the friend India can come watch the kids, or we can. She lives at the Vantage, so we might be able to just take all the kids and mom, drop kids off at Vantage, and then take mom. So as soon as we leave, as soon as we're separated, he wants you to call 696 Kids to see if they want to come and interview her at the jail. Because sometimes they haven't been able to get a hold of people. She seems like a respectable person. Yeah. She's going to be here, at some point. Not going to jump out and escape that.
Yeah.
Just not respectable that she doesn't leave her kids.
Right. So I think, because I don't want to do it in front of her kids, obviously. So.
We're not going to handcuff her.
No, okay.
Cuffing stuff, mom and
Yeah.
we're just going to say, hey, you're going for a ride.
Okay. Maya, can I speak with you, please? Outside?
Yes.
Huh? If you can just stay warm inside. Is that India? Yes. Can you actually just tell her to hold on 1 second while we speak with you?
Are you going to pick up India?
I'm right here and close that.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't want to talk about this with you kids at all. Okay. You have to be booked and processed for child endangerment. Okay. So you have requires you to be fingerprinted in our state. Okay. You have to be arrested. Here's the situation. Are we able to drop the girls off at India's house while...
No, India's not home now.
Okay. So that's fine. So we're going to put all 3 of you in the back of a police car together, unhandcuffed. We're just going to make sure you have everything on you, okay? And the other female officer will come out and pat you down, okay? And you're not going to be handcuffed as long as you're sitting in the car with your kid.
Can they go to my grandma's house?
That's
what we're looking for. We're looking for a babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma is not home at the moment. My grandpa is. So we can watch them.
Is he able to drive?
How long
here?
will this take, do you know?
No, because we have to contact the judge for approval to let you go. Okay. I'm imagining she will, but this requires us to call.
Well, I understand.
Okay. How far? We can drive you. How?
No, it's only because he's not able enough to take care of them by himself for a long period of time. If it's longer than a day, then he's not going to be able to watch.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be 2 hours.
Okay, well then that's fine. They can go do. Okay,
yeah,
well that's fine. My ID is in my car. Should I just grab that, or do I need anything? What do I take? I don't know.
Got some shake spikes.
Mm-hmm.
That is an 8-minute drive.
Okay.
Ma'am, for some of you, if they want to pick them up from the station, that's fine too.
Okay.
West Balboa Oval. All right. We're going to go for a little ride. Yeah.
Yay. It's pretty lovely.
Oh, 1 second. Let's let.
Well, I can take them out to the car and they can hop in the car. Is that cool?
Police car, first time for everything, right?
Right. Got some shake spikes.
Mm-hmm.
That is an 8-minute drive.
Okay.
Ma'am, for some of you, if they want to pick them up from the station, that's fine too.
Okay.
West Balboa Oval. Or?
You got it.
All right. We're gonna go for a little ride. Yeah.
Yay. It's pretty mostly.
Oh, 1 second. Let's let.
Well, I can take them out to the car and they can hop in the car. Is that cool?
Please, for our first time for everything, right?
Right. It's a field trip. All right. Wanna go in your car? This side or the other side?
The other side.
All right. Watch your cars.
All right, scoot on over. Hold on 1 second. They kind of flip.
It's okay. Put your seatbelts on.
There you go. Just press it around you.
Okay.
I don't have one.
That's okay for right now.
Can you unlock the window?
Yeah. Right down here.
All right.
Now that we've seen the key moments from the footage, let's explore the legal side of this case. In Ohio, child endangerment is defined under Ohio Revised Code, Section 2919.22. It's illegal to create a situation where a child is at risk of harm. That means physically, emotionally, or otherwise. Leaving 5-year-old children alone, even for a short time, is generally considered unsafe, particularly when they're locked out of their home. Remember, it's February in Ohio. In this case, the mother's decision to leave the children unsupervised while she worked, combined with the children being locked out of their apartment, formed the basis for her arrest. The officers exercised discretion by not escalating the arrest unnecessarily, but they still prioritized the safety of the children and upheld the law. Let's take this opportunity to discuss the hierarchy of evidentiary standards and how they apply to cases like this. Mere suspicion. This is the lowest standard. For example, someone might see the children outside and feel something is amiss, but have no concrete evidence. Reasonable suspicion. This standard is higher. The children being found outside, locked out, raises reasonable suspicion of neglect and prompts further investigation. Probable cause. This is the standard required for an arrest. In this case, probable cause exists because the children were left unsupervised and in potential danger. Remember, they were found outside. Preponderance of the evidence. Used in civil cases, this standard requires that it's more likely than not that harm occurred due to the mother's actions. Clear and convincing evidence. A higher standard used in custody or dependency hearings where significant evidence would be needed to show that the mother's actions posed a continuing risk to her children. Beyond a reasonable doubt, the highest standard required for a criminal conviction to convict the mother, the prosecution would need to prove she knowingly or recklessly endangered her children. So, what can we learn from this case? First, it's a reminder of the immense responsibility caregivers have to ensure the safety of children at all times. Even a brief lapse in judgment can have serious legal and personal consequences. Second, this case highlights how law enforcement navigate the delicate balance between enforcing the law and exercising compassion. While the mother's actions warranted legal intervention, the officers showed restraint and prioritized the children's well-being throughout the process. Finally, it's a call to reflect on the importance of community resources. Hotlines like 216-696-KIDS plays a crucial role in addressing situations of potential child endangerment and connecting families with the support they need. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Should discretion have played a greater role here, or was the mother's arrest justified? Thank you for joining me today on Advocacy Alchemy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it informative. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. You have a good day.